Hello and welcome back to another edition of the Mayo Summer Soccer Show, brought to you by the Mayo League. It's week 5 of the 2018 season, and this week we'll be featuring the TUI Cup and the draw for the TUI Cup round 2. In part 2, we're going to be featuring all the league action from Super League, League 1 and League 2. But the biggest game of the weekend took place in Solar 21 Park, when the Mayo Youths took on the Cork Youths in the FAI Interleague final. And that's where we start this week's podcast, in a packed Solar 21 Park, where Mayo took on Cork. Cork took an early lead in the 8th minute when Carl Crowley's long-range effort fortuitously deflected off a Mayo defender and into the top left-hand corner of the net. Ethan Varian doubled their lead 5 minutes into the second half as he curled the ball home after holding off a Mayo defender on the edge of the area. Mayo pulled a goal back on 70 minutes when Con Rangers' Liam Durkin neatly finished from inside the area. Try as they might, Mayo were unable to create any further chances, and it was Cork who went closest when they nearly made it 3-1 when Varian hit the crossbar late on. And so it was Cork that lifted the FAI Youth Interleague trophy, but huge congratulations to all involved in the Mayo team for making it to the final for the first time in 29 years. I'm joined now by Joe Forkton and Mark Tahar, the coaches of the Mayo Under-18 team, who narrowly failed to win the Interleague title today. Joe, I'll start with you first. It was a good game, a tight game, and not a lot in it.
Yeah, we're disappointed now, to be honest with you. I thought we played awful well. They got an early goal after about 10 minutes, and it just sort of we were always chasing it. Then, like, they could sit back and kind of hit us on the break, and they tried to do that, but we didn't cough up many chances. Second goal then start second half, same sort of time, like, so we battled back. We're delighted with how the lads played for the last 20 minutes. Like, they just kept at it, and we got a goal with about 15 to go. Liam Durkin scored about 15 minutes to go, and we drove on, just ran out of time, but the lads can be delighted with how they played. Like, they done awful well to get this far, and sort of just disappointed on the day.
The game ebbed and flowed between both teams. Both sides had took their chances. For the last 15 minutes of it, though, you dominated. It looked like there was only going to be, if a goal was going to come,
yeah.
It looked like there was only one team that was going to get that goal.
The wind was going down across field, and it was helping us second half, and we were able to kind of pin them in a bit. But unfortunately, a lot of the ball that we were giving up, the wind was kind of bringing out over the end line, so that was a disappointment. But yeah, I thought if we scored near the end, I thought we'd have driven on, but it just didn't happen on the day now.
I'll go over to you, Mark. Mark, I know you spent a lot of time coaching these lads over the last few months. You must have been very impressed with the performance individually, from the individual performances that were out there today.
Yeah, look, as Joe said, like, you know, they can be delighted with the performance, and they put in a huge shift. And I'm not going to name drop anyone. You know, it was a squad effort, and you know, it's appropriate as well to mention the few lads who didn't get off the bench. And you know, look, the hard work goes in on Thursday night here at Milebush Park when we're training. And look, we're disappointed, but you know, Sinead, that's football. The boys can be proud, and some of them have finished their youth football career now, and they can. You can be sure to look out for a few names that was on the squad for the Super League in the next few years.
It's you've gone further than any Mayo side has gone for almost 30 years. What does it mean to the management team and to the players and to the whole of the county, football in the county, really?
Yeah, it's good. It just shows the work that the managers have been doing with underage, and we just reaped the rewards of. We just got the team set up, and Mark done very good training, and Kevin Burke was highly involved as well, and just sort of just got on the run, and like the home games helped, and it just shows the quality that we had in the squad. Like we were within a goal of winning the All-Ireland, like, and the Cork were a very good side as well, so we're happy with how the lads performed over the last few months.
And I'll finish up with you, Mark. Where to here now for the management team and for the future of youth football in the county?
I might put the feet up tonight anyways for a start, and I might start enjoying my Thursday nights for a while. We'll see. Look, we'll see. It's you know, there's about a 50-50 split there of lads who can play next year again, and lads who won't be. They're, as I said, they're finished their youth football career. But look, we'll see. The boys have a good career ahead of them. They're super footballers, and as I said, yeah, I'm sure you'll be covering them quite a bit over the next 4 or 5 years. Look, we'll see how the next couple of months goes, and we'll worry then about next year. But look, I just hope all the lads can take the experience, being involved in a big occasion, and try and learn from it, because that's the beauty of coming to these things. You might come out the right end, but you can definitely pick up some lessons, learn it, and look, let's make it a habit. Okay, let's see more of these days from Mayo football in the future.
And speaking of these days, maybe just one more question as well. There was a huge turnout today from all over the county, and from clubs that didn't have players in there. So that was good to see.
Yeah, it's always good to get a good crowd. Like, it sort of builds the occasion for the lads as well. Like, it can shout them on. Like, you could hear them there in the second half, and we had chances. Like, they were getting behind the team, so it'd be good for lots of teams to have a big following in Mayo.
Thanks very much, lads, and you've done Mayo football proud over the last few months.
Thanks, Sean.
Thanks, Sean.
Thank you.
And now we turn our focus to the Tui Cup. Ballyhonest Town got back to winning ways with a 4-0 win over Fahy Rovers at Solar 21 Park on Saturday. Keith Robinson put them in front, and Hamid Atavani doubled the lead as he stooped in to head home at the back post after some good work down the left wing. Deo Addicks made it 3-0 before Carl Carney added the fourth in the second half to send Tommy Page's side into the next round. Swinford progressed to the next round with a 4-1 win against Bangor Hibs at James McAvady Park. After a goalless first half, Swinford took the lead 5 minutes into the second half when Dara Price opened the scoring with a tremendous strike from the edge of the area. Hibs were levelled 10 minutes later when Michael Riley headed home a left-wing cross from Kieran Gallagher. Swinford were looking far more dangerous going forward, and Kevin McDonough had them back in front when his long-range effort deceived Thomas Minahan in the Hibs goal. Martin Murphy then made it 3-1 before Peter McNicholas completed the scoring from the penalty spot with 10 minutes remaining. And before we go over to the draw for the second round of the Tui Cup sponsored by McDonald Construction, a quick look at the results from round one. Westport United conceded the game to Achill Rovers. Ballyhonest Town beat Fahy Rovers by 4-0. The game between Glenhest and Con Rangers was postponed due to the under-18 interleague final. Snugbury United beat Ballyglass by 5-1, and Swinford beat Bangor Hibs by 4-1. So into the second round draw, we have Achill Rovers, Ballyhonest Town, Glenhest Rovers or Con Rangers, Snugbury United and Swinford. The first two teams drawn out of the hat will play each other. The home team will be drawn first, and the three remaining teams will all have byes to the semi-finals. To perform the draw, we have Seamus Hughes and James Larkin of the Mayo League.
Number 2.
The first one out of the hat is Ballyhonest Town.
Number 5.
And they will play Swinford.
Number 1.
And then we have byes for Achill Rovers,
Number 4.
Snugbury United
Number 3.
and Glenhest Rovers. So there we have it, a very big game in round two when Ballyhonest Town, free-scoring Ballyhonest Town, will play the Mayo Cup Kings of the moment, Swinford. That match will take place on Saturday the 2nd of June or Sunday the 3rd of June, and then we have byes for Achill Rovers, Snugbury United and Glenhest or Con Rangers through to the semi-finals. And that's it for the end of part one. Please join us in part two when we'll be taking a look at all the league action from the Super League, League One and League Two. Join us then.